What is up, everybody? Welcome to... Oh, wow. Let me get my mic over here really quick. Oh, man, I'm really messing up. I had the mic all the way on the other side of the room. But what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Sixers Pre Game Live. Didn't have enough time to switch into my Sixers gear here, so I'm all over the place. Got some Eagles gear. Nonetheless, we're repping Philly hard as we can. But guys, welcome. Happy Friday night. Happy Friday evening. Hope everybody's day went well. Hope the end of the work week, I should say, has gone swell for you. Speedy, hopefully. Your day went quick and you didn't have to work too hard today. But guys, welcome to another episode of DSM Pre Game Live. Obviously, we're here for the Sixers at the Grizzlies tonight in Memphis. So we're going to get you guys all squared away, get you ready for that matchup. Obviously, it's a big one coming off the Sixers' last game. So we're going to get into all of that. Keys of victory, goal of the game, player of the game, same thing as usual, predictions. As you can see, I'm here by myself. I'll be the solo host tonight. At Scotty Drown is where you can find me on all social media platforms. And for DSM, just make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button on YouTube. The DSM pregame shows are exclusively on YouTube. So just be sure, hit that subscribe button, turn the notifications on, ring the goddamn bell so you're notified every single time. Not only DSM pregame goes live, but every single DSM show, every single DSM content creator, you'll be notified every single time that they go live on this channel. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn the notifications on, ring the bell, of course. And, of course, the main thing here, make sure to comment. Comment on the video, get involved in the show. It's live for a reason. We want to get you guys all involved in the show here and make sure you're taken care of and make sure your thoughts are getting expressed right here on the show because that's what this is for. This is an open forum, right? But aside from that, a little bit of house cleaning as always. DSM Media is brought to you by Gents Barber Lounge. Check out one of the two great locations in Fishtown and Old City and book your appointment today. Gents owns the craft and it shows, rated the #1 barbershop on Yelp in the Philadelphia area. Multiple award-winning barbers and being able to handle any style of cut, adult or kid. Here is a look at some of Gents' work. All right. Shout out to Gents Barber Lounge. Be sure to check out gentsbarberlounge.com and book your appointment today. One of the best barbershops in the city of Philadelphia. And I also want to shout out our other sponsors over at luxadin.com. Use code DSM at checkout at luxadin.com for 25% off and free shipping off of jewelry of your selection. They have a very fine selection on there, nice prices. And be sure to use that code DSM for 25% off and free shipping. Guys, that is the most boring part of the show, I would say. We're through with the housekeeping, the house cleaning. Yes, and it's go Sixers. Very simply put there, Phil. I appreciate you checking in, my man. Yes, go Sixers. That is the main thing here tonight because we need a Sixers W on this fine Friday, right? Now, we're going to get into all the landscapes of this game, obviously, what the Sixers need to do to win this game. But first, I want to talk about what happened last game. What do we do with that Cavs game? Because that was what I like to call a shit show. That was a shit show. That was not entertaining. You had a 113-85 loss for the Sixers on the road. In this game, you had Tobias Harris with 3 points. He was 0 for 7 from the field. Obviously, he went out late in the game. He's not feeling well. He's dealing with an illness, still dealing with it tonight, which makes him a game-time decision. In that game, Joel Embiid was 6 for 16 from the field, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 19 points, all under his season average, aside from the 6 assists. In the 6 for 16 from the field, no Jared Allen in this game. That's inexcusable from an Embiid standpoint, a game plan standpoint, schematic standpoint. It just does not make sense as to why Embiid has a night like this when there's no Jared Allen on the court. Evan Mobley is a fine player. He's a great defender. He's lengthy, but that dude is a twig compared to Embiid. He cannot be that good on the defensive end. Obviously, they had a couple different concepts Cleveland was working there where they were just taking those defensive 3 seconds in the paint calls. They were living with them. They said they're going to live with those tonight rather than let Embiid kill you, get to the foul line. And I can respect that. That's a decent game plan when you come in and play the Sixers, especially without James Harden and Tyrese Maxey, your two guys out on the outside, on the perimeter there. Obviously, Harris not having a great night. You look at Shake Milton, just an average night for him compared to what he's been doing during this stretch without Harden and Maxey. 14 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Obviously, the best bet of the night. The other night did not hit. We had Shake going for 5 rebounds. He got stuck at 3. Nothing was going the Sixers' way this night. Nothing was going my way that night. When you talk about best bets, Shake Milton 0 for 3 from the 3-point line. Go down to D'Anthony Melton, 9 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. That's all below his averages on the season, especially during this spurt. 4 for 11 from the field, 1 for 4 from the 3-point line. You look at the team as a whole, 6 3-pointers made on the night, 6 for 26 from the field. That's 23.1% from the 3-point line. Meanwhile, when I say it was not the Sixers' night, it literally was not the Sixers' night. Cleveland Cavaliers shoot 51.7% from the 3-point line, 15 for 29 from the field. They shot 60.8% from the field. 15 for 29 from the 3-point line. They shot 60.8% from the field, and then 45 for 74 from the field when you look at a shot-taking standpoint. Sixers got out-rebounded by 10 in this one. They got out-assisted in this one by 9. And that's kind of where we'll leave this game. It's a throwaway in the biggest sense that you could ever mark it as a throwaway. The only thing that I will wrap up, just kind of wrapping this game up as a whole from Wednesday, is that while you can throw the results away, it's fine, right? You throw the results, you throw that game out 113-85 on the road, right? Down 2 of your 3 top stars. We don't do scheduled losses, right? Like, not in Philadelphia, not as a contender, as an elite, what we think is an elite team in the NBA. We don't do scheduled losses. And so I saw my man Phil. He was on the morning show, trending in the AM this morning. He was outraged by it. He brought it to my attention because, honestly, I didn't see the post-game comments after the game on Wednesday. I was just so disinterested with the Sixers team at that point. I did not watch post-game interviews because I was done with them at that point. They showed no effort on the court. I didn't really want to see their faces that night. But Phil made me aware of what Doc Rivers had to say after the game, basically calling it a scheduled loss. There is no such thing as a scheduled loss. No such thing. You can call a scheduled loss on the tail end of a back-to-back. That's fine. That's fair. But still, it doesn't exist. A scheduled loss does not exist, especially in the city of Philadelphia, especially as a team that is trying to build winning tendencies. So that was completely inappropriate. And once again, that comes from Doc Rivers in this loser mentality. That's a loser mentality. A scheduled loss? Do you go to the gym and play a pickup game and be like, we lost that. That was a scheduled loss. I took it easy that game. Like, if you're allowing your players to go out there with that mindset, you're saying that after the game. I don't know if that's to defend your players, to defend yourself, to defend the loss. Why would the players feel like they have to come out and give it their all every single night? Like, from a coaching standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, why would you as a player on the Philadelphia 76ers really feel that it's mandatory that you come out and give your all every single night that you step on the floor? That's not a winning mentality. I get it. Like I said, you're on the tail end of a back-to-back. You're on the road. It's a 7-game road trip. Whatever you want to call it. You're on the West Coast trip, right? You've seen scheduled losses in those trips. One, this was not the case. They had more than a day off before this game, right? So that it's not a scheduled loss for that reason. It was on the road. It's in Cleveland. You're in the Midwest. That's not a reasonable loss. That's not a reasonable to say that's a scheduled loss. There's nothing about this game in my eyes that points to it being a scheduled loss. Like I said, it would be fair if it was on the tail end of a back-to-back on a 7-game road trip out west, whatever you want to say. But this was not it. This was inappropriate for Doc Rivers to say that. And it's one more reason in the Doc sweepstakes as to why Doc needs to go yesterday, right? But as I've been moving all season with these Sixers, I've been moving past Doc Rivers. I've been thinking outside of Doc Rivers. How can you win with Doc Rivers as your coach? Sorry about these comments. Not sure what that was all about. We'll get those off of there. Nonetheless, guys, if you have some resourceful comments, if you have some thoughts to actually share there, not spamming us, be sure to leave some comments. I'll definitely get your thoughts on the show here, and we'll talk things out. But nonetheless, that is why this season, if you watch Scotty Talks Sixers, if you've watched Scotty Talks NBA, I have been talking about the Sixers in a sense where you have to win despite your coach, right? It isn't going to come down to coaching when it comes to the Sixers winning games or getting to the playoffs or winning in the playoffs. It isn't going to be Doc Rivers that gets it done. It'll be the team themselves figuring things out as they go, getting the right chemistry, playing the right way that will ultimately get this Sixers team wins. But let's get into it tonight. Enough talking about the past, which is definitely negative. We're going to get into tonight's matchup and talk about what the Sixers need to do to win this game. Let's talk about the opportunity to win. So they're in Memphis tonight. They're going against a 12-9 Memphis Grizzlies team. They're fourth in the Western Conference. Coming into this game, Memphis is a 5-point favorite at home. Fair enough. No Harden, no Maxey. That's fair enough to me. No Tobias, potentially. In Memphis's previous game, we talked about the Sixers. Memphis also lost their previous game to the Minnesota Timberwolves, 109-101. That was with no Karl Anthony Towns. Now, obviously, Memphis has been down a few guys. Dylan Brooks been in and out of the lineup. Desmond Bane obviously been out the last few games. And you had Ja Morant kind of still working himself back from his ankle injury that he had just a week or so ago, I should say. So when we talk about keys to victory, you're looking at this Memphis Grizzlies team. Where do you have to start with this? Take a wild guess where you got to start with this Memphis Grizzlies team. You had Joel Embiid talking about the excellence of Ja Morant in a presser, and nothing he said was incorrect. He's spot on. Joel Embiid was being as honest as he can. Ja Morant, freak athlete, but not just a freak athlete. He's got the swag. He's got the work ethic to go with that freak athleticism. He's got the IQ to go with that freak athleticism. The lobs, the assists, the teardrop floater. He's shooting the 3-ball a lot better this season. He's obviously worked on that. He's just tenacious. He's a leader. He's the epitome of a dog. DAWG. He is the epitome of a dog. That is what Ja Morant is. And that is why the first key to victory tonight for the Philadelphia 76ers, contain Ja Morant. Sounds a lot easier than what it is, right? Contain Ja Morant if possible. If it's possible tonight, it very well may not be possible. You don't have James Harden. You don't have Tyrese Maxey. It might not be possible to contain Ja Morant tonight, right? If possible. He's averaging 28.2 points per game, 6.3 rebounds per game, 7.6 assists per game. Obviously, he gets in the lane. He creates for other players. They got shooters on the outside, obviously, that he spreads the ball out around to. Not having Desmond Bane is huge. It allows you to hone in on Ja Morant in a sense. He's still got guys there. Dylan Brooks most likely going to go tonight. You have Tyus Jones off the bench as a backup point guard. Down the line, Jaren Jackson Jr. has returned to the lineup. So they still have guys there. They still have young, youthful talent that they can go to tonight, even without Desmond Bane in this game. Ja Morant is where you start. You contain him, go from there, make other people have to beat you. Make Dylan Brooks have to have a 25 to 30-point night. Make Jaren Jackson Jr. have to go out there and have a 25-point night. Don't let Ja come out here, score 30-plus points, have 10 assists, and completely control this game. It starts with Ja Morant, keeping him first out of the paint. And two, all your attention on him at all times. Make sure you know where he is. Whether it's a block, it's a dunk, an alley-oop for Ja, he gets this home crowd, Memphis Grizzlies crowd, lit. When he makes one of those crazy athletic plays, the roof is going to come off this Memphis arena, right? These fans are going to break the roof off of this place. You look at the Memphis Grizzlies, and the reason I bring up the home crowd tonight, obviously they're in Memphis, the grindhouse. Memphis is 7-2 at home this season, right? They're 7-2. They've only lost twice in Memphis this season. So that's why it's super important that not only do you have to contain Ja Morant, you have to keep your focus on him at all times, because you don't want him getting out on a fast break, jumping above the rim, catching an oop with one hand. You don't want him coming down and glassing Joel Embiid, right? We do not want to see that, because that is going to set this building on fire. The main thing, start fast tonight. It cannot be what it was in Cleveland, because Cleveland was rocking on Wednesday, and they have a right to. Cleveland is a very good team this year with Donovan Mitchell addition. Memphis will take it to another level on a Friday night if you come out there and you look like you looked against the Cleveland Cavaliers, talking about scheduled loss. You come out here and have a scheduled loss against the Memphis Grizzlies, you're going to get embarrassed to an even further standpoint. So that's why one of my keys to victory here, obviously eliminate the crowd is what I'm getting at. Start fast is the key to victory. You need to get after it from the jump. Come out here and play with more energy than Memphis. You might not have more talent than Memphis tonight. That might be the case. Memphis may have a more talented team with no James Harden, no Tyrese Maxey. You have to come out here and play like you're the lesser talented team. Understand that could be the case. Play like you're the lesser talented team. Bring the energy from the first tip-off, from the first whistle. The energy needs to be brought. You need to start fast. They need to be locked in. They need to be able to hit shots early, because if you're not, it's going to get out of hand, just like it did against Cleveland, very fast on the road. That's my second key to victory. The final key to victory, this one seems to be something that I don't know if we're going to be able to fix this issue, because the Sixers are, my God, the worst in the league at it, if not second to worst, right? Rebounding. We've been hammering this all season, guys, in the Sixers pregame show. Scotty Talks Sixers. Rebounding. Rebounding, it starts with, it has a little bit to do with the Sixers' size. We know the Sixers starting lineup is one of the shortest in the NBA. They're one of the shortest teams in the NBA themselves. But it also has to do with what I talked about in the previous key to victory. Start fast, play with energy. That means going after loose balls. That means going and grabbing boards off the glass. That is something that the Sixers struggle with. That is what our third key to victory is going to be, rebounding tonight. An attempt to rebound. We need Shake Milton to get on the boards. He was averaging over 5 right before this last game. He only gets 3. We need Shake to get down there and get some boards. We need D'Anthony Melton to get down there and get some boards. If Tobias plays tonight, we need you to get on the glass. Embiid, you can't have 6 boards. Get on the glass. You look at the 76ers versus the Memphis Grizzlies when it comes to rebounding. Memphis is number 2 in the NBA at rebounding. Number 2. They grab 48.7 rebounds per game. You look at the 76ers, like I said, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to rebounding. They are second to last. They're 29th in rebounding in the NBA. This is going to be a huge pain point tonight. Sixers averaging 39.9 rebounds per game. Number 2 rebounding team in the NBA, Memphis Grizzlies. Number 29th rebounding team in the NBA, 76ers. That is the biggest key to victory tonight. Start fast, contain Ja Morant. You got to rebound the freaking basketball in order to get it back on the offensive end and get buckets. Rebounding. It's what we've been pounding the table for all season, guys. So next thing I want to focus on, we hit the keys to victory. As you know, Sixers pregame, we give you one goal of the game each game. Sometimes it's team related. Sometimes it's, player related, individual related. Sometimes it's just a vibe. Like, come out and play with some effort. I know we've done that a couple times this season. I'm not going to go that route today because that should be a given. You just got blown out 113-85 on Wednesday. Coming out and playing with energy should be a given. You should be embarrassed. So that's not going to be the goal of the game. You should be doing that regardless. Goal of the game. Hold Ja Morant under 25 points. Hold him under 25 points. I'm not asking you to hold him under 20. I'm not asking you to hold him under 15 points. Hold Ja to 12 points tonight. I'm not saying that. That's impossible. He has the ball in his hands too much. He's going to score points. Hold Ja Morant to under 25 points tonight. Make it tough for him. No easy buckets, no dunks, none of that. Everything needs to be contested. You need to keep him out of the paint. Do not let him get in the paint with those floaters, the dunks, the layups, the finishing ability in the paint, getting Embiid into foul trouble. We don't need any of that. Contain Ja Morant. Hold him under 25 points. How did this get back again? I don't need a perfect match. Like, stop. We're going to block that. There we go. Hopefully that doesn't come back nonetheless. But nonetheless, hold Ja Morant under 25 plus points, right? Under 25, not 25 plus. Grizzlies, 41-24 when Ja goes over 25 points in a game. 41 wins, 24 losses when Ja Morant scores over 25 points per game. When Ja's held under 25 points, the Grizzlies are 69-66. Still winning record. They still could very well win if he scores under 25 points. But they win at a very much less clip when he is held under 25 points. 41-24 when Ja scores over 25 points. 69-66 when Ja scores less than 25 points. Hold Ja under 25 points. You give yourself the best chance to win with no Harden, no Tyrese Maxey on the other side to kind of balance things out, balance production out. You don't have Maxey and Harden there to balance that out. So what you have to do is contain Ja Morant himself, right? You can't go back and forth. None of that. Goal of the game, hold Ja Morant under 25 points. You heard it here first. Let's talk about player of the game. Who's the player of the game? Easy to pick Embiid. We can do that every single game. And I do it from time to time because there are nights where Embiid is more important than the next night. Tonight could be a case where Embiid is the most important. He's the best player on the floor for the Sixers, as it is most nights. But he is by himself when you talk about the stars. Most likely not going to have Tobias. He's a game-time decision. We'll see. Nonetheless, no Harden, no Maxey. It is an important game for Joel Embiid, but that's not where I'm going. I am going back to the well. I went to him last game. I thought he could bounce back. I'm going back to him again because I got faith, DeAnthony. I got faith in you, brother. DeAnthony Melton is my player of the game for tonight. He's the X factor of the game tonight. And the reason, there's a couple different reasons that I'm going in this route. One, he's been struggling, so he needs to turn it around. We need him to turn it around. We need him to start getting back to his higher percentages when we talk about shooting a three ball, being active, getting on the glass, even getting into playmaking. He's done a touch of that since Harden and Maxey went out. So he's been struggling. We need him to step up, right? It's his old team. Where else can you get a spark if you can't get it anywhere else? You should be able to get it by going back up against a team that just traded you away this postseason or this offseason. So you're going against the Memphis Grizzlies. That's DeAnthony Melton's old team. I'm looking for DeAnthony Melton to come out with a little bit more motivation tonight to prove that he was worth more than what the Memphis Grizzlies shipped him out for last offseason. What I'm looking for from DeAnthony Melton tonight, obviously, I would imagine he's going to be the main guy on Ja Morant. He needs to be. He's the lengthy one. He's the energetic one. He's the defensive-minded guard in this unit. So that's where it starts for DeAnthony Melton as player of the game. He's going to have to be the one that contains Ja Morant, right? Hold him under 25 points. But on top of that, he needs to contribute offensively the way that he has been doing since the beginning of this spurt without Harden and Maxey has began. We need DeAnthony Melton to get up to those numbers. All I'm asking for from DeAnthony tonight, 15 points. 15 points. 15 points. That is not that much for DeAnthony Melton. This guy can score. He's just got to get his mind right. He's got to get his legs back, too. I think he's been exhausted, quite honestly. 15 points for DeAnthony. 5 rebounds. I'm asking for 5 boards. 5 boards. Let me see what DeAnthony's averaging on the season. I know it's right around 5 boards. Where are we at, DeAnthony? 4.2 rebounds per game, right? 4.2, I'm asking for 5. 4.2 is when Harden and Maxey are in. That's when you grab 4.2. I'm asking for 5. 5 rebounds from D'Anthony Melton, and then, of course, 2 steals tonight, because that shows me you're active on the defensive end, you're fully engaged, you're energized, and you're out there ready to do what you came there to do. So I need D'Anthony Melton active on the defensive end, 2+ steals, 5+ rebounds, 15+ points. And D'Anthony Melton, I believe you will be the player of the game for the Sixers tonight, just because those numbers on top of your defensive efforts against Ja Morant. D'Anthony Melton is my pick. X factor of the night, player of the game, whatever you want to call him. D'Anthony Melton. Let's get it against your old squad. I want to see it. So as you know, we wrap up here. We got best bets, and then we'll go predictions to finish us off. Best bets. Let's start here. I actually got a couple for you, but I'm going to give you one, my go-to for tonight. And then I will give you a couple other bets that I like on top of this. Best bet of the night, Shake Milton, over 5.5 assists. He's had over 5 assists in his last 4 or 5 games. Last game being the one where he did not have 5 assists. He only had 3. I think they come out tonight. They should be able to look at tape in between. That's what good teams do. They look at tape and try to correct the wrongs from the previous games. I think they can look at that. I think Shake can look at that and say, hey, I got to get my teammates involved a little bit better this game. Sixers win when Shake is out there being a playmaker. When he's handling the ball and playmaking for his team, that is the best version of Shake right now. Obviously, getting his own shot. He had 14 points last game. I'm not worried about him scoring as much. I think that comes to him naturally. I think he's a scorer naturally. I want him to come out here focused with that James Harden mindset that I was talking about last week before this previous game. The James Harden mindset. Come out and make your teammates better, facilitate, play good defense, rebound. But really, I'm looking for it on the offensive end, facilitating. Shake, over 5.5 assists tonight, sitting at plus 108. Plus 108. That is my best bet, my lock of the night. Shake Milton, over 5 assists tonight. As I mentioned, he's had over 5 assists in 4 of his last 5 games. Some other plays that I actually do like tonight as well. Embiid 2+ blocks. I actually love that play. I laid that one down as well. It's not my best bet, but I love that play. You talk about Embiid with 2+ blocks. He's had 2+ blocks in 3 of his last 5 games. You talk about a game in last game where he had 0 blocks in that game. I think we see Embiid come out energized tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies, come out, battle, and get 2 blocks for me. And you know, these Memphis Grizzlies guys, they like to attack the paint, especially their guards. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities for Embiid to get his shot blocks tonight. So that is another one I smashed. 2+ Embiid blocks at plus 115. The other play that I like, well, 2 more plays for you that I like tonight. I actually love D'Anthony Melton over 2.5 threes. They actually finally brought that to the plus side, sitting at plus 130. D'Anthony Melton, I love it. And obviously feeding off the same reasons I picked him to be player of the game. D'Anthony Melton going up against his old team, the Memphis Grizzlies. I love that. And I love that matchup. I think D'Anthony Melton gets back on the nod tonight. Great question. He's a game time decision, Akbar. So we gotta keep and correct me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong there. I apologize if that's the case. I gave it a shot nonetheless. Usually I don't. But nonetheless, Tobias Harris is a game time decision. Should make a big difference in this next parlay that I laid that I'm going to feed to you. I'm looking at this parlay from the perspective, and I laid it anyways because it can happen with Tobias playing. But if he doesn't play, I have a strong feeling that it will happen. This one comes out to plus 126. Embiid 25+. Shake Milton 15+. D'Anthony Melton 10+ points. That comes out to plus 126. That's one of my safer plays tonight. But nonetheless, that was, keep in mind, if Tobias Harris goes, maybe don't lay that one. I laid it anyways because I was willing to live with it. Maybe don't lay that one if Tobias is playing. If you agree with me and you want to lay it, go ahead. I'm laying it in the mindset that Tobias Harris is not playing. So just to give you a good bet. Yeah, hey, I'd love to hear that. Thank you, Akbar. I appreciate you confirming. Because I definitely like to make sure I'm respecting people's names on the show here. So thank you for commenting and thank you for confirming that for me, man. I appreciate you. The last play that I'll give you tonight, and I'm not going to take any credit for this. This was already posted on DraftKings. I saw it and I just kind of went with it. Plus 519. This is kind of my big play of the night, I guess you could say. OG Anunoby over 1.5 steals. D'Anthony Melton over 1.5 steals. I already mentioned that to you guys earlier, 2+ steals. And Drew Holiday over 1.5 steals. That comes out to plus 519. I saw that. I had to go look at the numbers because I was like, sounds really good. You go and look at the numbers. OG Anunoby's averaging 2.2 steals per game, so he averages over 2 anyways. D'Anthony Melton, same thing, averaging 2.2 steals per game. And then Drew Holiday, we watched Drew Holiday in the finals just maybe a year or so ago against the Phoenix Suns. We watched that. I guess that was 2 years ago. But we watched that. We saw what he can do in the defensive end. He averages 1.6 steals per game, so I guess he is the one that kind of lengthens the odds or makes the odds a little bit better just because he doesn't average over 2. But Drew Holiday is more than capable of getting 2 steals against an LA Lakers squad tonight. So I rode that one. That one's once again at plus 519. OG Anunoby, 2+ steals. D'Anthony Melton, 2+ steals. Drew Holiday, 2+ steals tonight. Those are my best plays of the night. Once again, the best bet being Shake Milton over 5.5 assists. Got to get his teammates involved tonight. It's up to him. It's his responsibility. He is the best playmaker on this team when James Harden is out. Isn't that crazy? When James Harden and Tyrese Maxey are out. Let me be correct here. But nonetheless, predictions. Let's get to the actual predictions of the game here. Who do I have winning this game? You guys have if you guys have been watching me all season, then you know it's very seldomly where I pick against the Sixers. I have ultra faith. I have ultra optimism when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers. Very rarely do I pick the Sixers to lose. You could probably pick it up in my tone through tonight, though. I'm a little bit more happier, I feel like, when I'm going to pick the Sixers to win. I got the Sixers losing this one. 2 in a row. I know. I get it. What you talking about, Willis? Who? Huh? Nah. It is, it's rough for me to call a Sixers loss. I hate doing it as a fan. Obviously, I love to be the optimistic Scotty. I love to bring the optimism and bring the positivity, especially on a Friday night, guys. But there's a reason none of my plays had a Sixers win or Sixers money line in it, because I don't think the Sixers are going to win this one. Not that they're going to come out and look the way they did on Wednesday. I don't expect that. I expect it to be a close game. The score I have written down here, 107-99 win for the Memphis Grizzlies at home. But what I'm really looking at this as, this is the last hurdle that the Sixers got to get over before hopefully James Harden returns on in the game in Houston on Monday. That's what Shams reported. That's what I'm going off of here. We're hopeful that Harden returns to the Philadelphia 76ers in the game against Houston on Monday. This is the last little hurdle. So the light is there at the end of the tunnel for the Sixers. And looking at it from that perspective, go out here and give it your all tonight. That is all I'm asking for. I'm not saying you have to go out here and beat this Memphis Grizzlies team that had the best record in the West last season and do this on the road without James Harden, without Tyrese Maxey. I'm not asking for that. I'm asking you to come out and play with more effort. No scheduled losses. This isn't scheduled. This is just what I predict to be a loss, just because the Memphis Grizzlies are in a better state right now than the Philadelphia 76ers. Sixers are in the middle of a road trip. You're coming off a disappointing loss, right? It should be more motivation, but I just don't know if motivation and effort is going to be enough tonight when you're going against the talents of a Ja Morant in the Memphis Grizzlies. So for tonight, appreciate that, Drab, because I catch heat when I pick the Sixers to lose on TikTok, man. They kill me on there. Got to be realistic. That's what I have to do here, right? If I'm going to sit here and lead a show, I can do it, and I can pick the Sixers every time and create the vibes and the positivity. But in order to create my own credibility and keep my own credibility, hold myself accountable, Sixers aren't going to win 82 of 82 games, guys. They're not going to win 82 of 82 games. Got to be realistic on a night-to-night basis, especially when your team is going through some hurdles here. But, guys, that is all I got for you tonight. I know I picked the Sixers loss, but it still goes Six. It's not like I'm rooting for them to lose. I'm rooting for them to win. I just don't know if I see it tonight. It still goes Sixers, guys. Be sure, check out the game tonight. Let me know how you're feeling afterwards in the comments. If anything I said was completely wrong, completely out of left field, you can call me out in the comments. Be sure to revisit tonight. But, guys, I hope you all have a great rest of your Friday. If the Sixers lose, don't worry about it. Light at the end of the tunnel. James Harden is supposed to be back on Monday. So keep your hopes high. Stay optimistic. This game, one game does not determine the season. We threw the Cleveland game out. Doc said that's a scheduled loss. I don't accept that. I just want to be clear. I do not accept scheduled losses. This is not a scheduled loss. This is just going to be a genuine loss where the Sixers give their all and it wasn't enough. 107-99 victory for the Memphis Grizzlies. But, guys, have a great rest of your Friday night. If you're not already subscribed to DSM Media, be sure to hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. That is where we're trying to grow the most because that's the easiest way to get our community involved. Get your comments up on the screen. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Turn the notifications on so you're notified every single time Sixers Pre Game Live goes live. We'll be here for every single Sixers game. At least I will. I got you covered. You can find me at Scotty Drown on all social media platforms. You can find DSM Media on Twitter at DSM_media, on TikTok at just DSM Media, and on Instagram at DSM.DoSomethingMajor. Hopefully the Sixers do something major tonight. Let's go, boys. But, guys, that is going to be it for me tonight on this episode of Sixers Pregame Live. Go Sixers. Let's get the W. Prove me wrong. Have a great night, everybody. Happy Friday. Enjoy the World Cup tomorrow. Go USA. If you're from the U.S., if you support the USA, go Team USA tomorrow. France is my side team, so I'm looking forward to that on Sunday. My French heritage, don't mind me. I'm looking forward to that game because they are the better team nonetheless. I'm looking forward to that game on Sunday. But nonetheless, go USA tomorrow, 10 a.m. Be sure to check that out. But, guys, have a great Friday night. That's going to be it for this one. Peace. Go Sixers.